My name is Tim Maguire. I'm president of QP Local 79. We have others here from Local 79 to assist us with these lunch and learn sessions. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been launching what we call a Good Jobs Workplace Action campaign. And there are two major influences for this campaign. First of all, for the last number of years, but particularly over the last 5 or 6 years, we've been fighting a lot of impacts on services from cuts in contracting out here at City Hall. Despite some challenges, we've actually had some success with those efforts, particularly on contracting out. Under the Ford administration, you might recall that they talked about contracting out that everything that wasn't nailed down. But in particular, they wanted to contract out all the cleaning services in the city. Those make good, stable jobs. Our members performing good services in Toronto. And sometimes in the cleaning industry, there's actually sub-minimum wage jobs where that work is contracted out and then subcontracted to sub-minimum wage. So we really got engaged in that effort, working with allies in the labor movement, working with other allies in the community, and some politicians here at City Hall. And we actually worked with them to turn it around from the threat of contracting out towards putting some effort into supporting good jobs. And the poverty reduction strategy was created, which included a job quality assessment tool to look at what are the components of a good job. What should a job look like if the city were going to look at contracting out? So we had some successes. Lots of threats of cuts in contracting out, but we've been working very hard here to counter those challenges. The second major impact or major influence on our campaign was what we were doing bargaining. We were raising aspects of what a good job is. Stable jobs, employment security for full-time members, and for part-time members, more predictable scheduling, and other aspects of what a good job might look like. Wellness, health and safety issues, all the other aspects of what a good job might mean. So we want to keep that conversation going with members. We want to engage with members, find out what the impact of gapping is. One of the things that we had been challenged with over the last number of years as well is gapping. The City of Toronto has been gapping positions that are budgeted for, and that's an impact on service, and it's an impact on our members in terms of workload and other aspects of of the service you provide. The city now gaps about 3,000 full-time positions. So it budgets, when it sets a budget, it determines how many people need to deliver that service, and then it fails to fill those positions. There are 3,000 outstanding positions that are being gapped at the city. Each division has a target gap of about 2%. That's for fluctuations, people leaving, and then the need to have some time to fill those positions. But most divisions are way over that. But we know that has an impact back on you. So now we're going to be continuing to talk to members about gapping and about other aspects of what's happening at City Hall. We're going to ask people to continue to take their breaks. We can't do it like we did it during bargaining, where there was a work to rule campaign. There wasn't a collective agreement in place when we had the work to rule campaign. But members have the right to take their breaks under their collective agreement and under the Employment Standards Act. You can't coordinate them. Everybody can't walk out at a specific time at 10 o'clock in the morning or at lunch or at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But people can take their breaks for when it's personally suitable and when it meets operational needs. Sometimes you have to stay a little bit longer and reschedule your break, but you have the right to take it. And we need you to work with us to continue to highlight what the impact of gapping is in terms of workload. So we're going to ask people to continue to take their breaks. We're going to ask you to keep a close eye still on the duties you do. During our Work to Rule campaign, we asked you to only perform what were your primary duties. It's different now because we have a collective agreement in place, but you can still keep an eye on the duties that you do. If it's way out of your job description, we can assist you with representation from the union and discuss whether you should be doing that task or not, if it's a new task you're being given. But if it's within the range of your job, you're going to have to do that work, and then again, with Local 79, you can contact us and we'll put you in touch with the Job Evaluation Committee to see if the duties you're now performing, the new duties, mean that your job can be re-rated and perhaps there's more money for that job. But we can't just refuse to do work as was being done under our Work to Rule campaign. So again, we want to keep these issues alive. We want to engage with members around making sure that people don't work for free, take breaks, and are familiar with their other rights. One of the areas that the city says it's going to be looking at is wellness. The city did its employee engagement survey and came out with a number of areas that they say they recognize they have to improve on. One of those areas is wellness. And so we're willing to sit down with the city and work on a plan where the city came up with a new program on how it treated illness and wellness. But the city really has to take a new approach if it wants to change how people are treated and make sure people are well at work. So that's essentially what the campaign is about. It's about reaching out to you, making sure that we understand the impacts of workload and gapping in the many divisions of the city, and TCHC and Bridgepoint. The campaign is for all of our members at the 3 employers. So, and what we're doing is in these meetings, I'm introducing the campaign, and then we're going to break up into groups, and we have some facilitators. Fred and is Crystal, are you doing the other one? Okay. So then they've got some more specific questions around finding out what the impacts are of gapping in your workplace. What are the specific ways that workload is heavy, and what are the reasons behind it? So then we can start to develop strategies. We're also going to ask you to go back to the workplace and talk about these issues with coworkers. The summer is on, so people are also starting to enjoy summer. But it's important for you to go back to the workplace and talk to people about taking their breaks and making sure that they're familiar with their other rights. We're also going to keep this going for the next 4 years. In 2019, we'll go back to the bargaining table at the city, but we want members to fully understand all of their rights, including their employment security and other aspects of stable jobs, job stability.